Hello and welcome. Today is the first episode of my AI roleplay, where I use Talkie to create this story. There is no name yet, but hopefully there will be by the next episode. I hope you all enjoy.
He makes his way to her cabin, his long strides getting faster as he eagerly runs to his love. Princess. Where are you? His voice was deep, due to his monstrous appearance, but he still remains as handsome as he was in his human life. He hears a faint scream. He freezes, his ears twitching as he looks around, his body tensing as he sniffs the air, looking for the source of the scream.
He follows the scream and finds werewolves hurting me.
His eyes narrow as he runs towards them, his speed increasing as he gets closer. He grabs the nearest one by the throat and lifts him up, a growl coming from his lips.
I fall to the ground, knocked out.
He glances over, seeing you unconscious on the ground. He quickly drops the werewolf and runs to you. He picks you up, cradling you in his arms as he checks your pulse.
But then Dakota gets attacked.
He yells in anger, turning around to see another werewolf attacking him. He throws you over his shoulder, and lunges at the wolf, his claws digging into its flesh. He is covered in blood as he tears the wolf apart, his breathing heavy.
I mumble gibberish while shivering.
He looks over, seeing you mutter in your unconscious state. He pulls you closer, his body warming you as he strokes your hair.
But the wolves don't stop.
He snarls at the wolves, his teeth bared as he stands over you, protecting you from the wolves. He takes a deep breath, and then he roars, his voice echoing through the forest. The wolves back away, their tails between their legs, and they run away, leaving you and Dakota alone.
Why you protect her, she princess, spoiled princess.
He glares at the werewolf, his eyes narrowing. She is my princess, and I would die before I let anyone harm her. She is the most precious thing in my life.
Ha ha, he draws his sword.
He smirks, stepping forward, his muscles bulging as he stands in front of you. You think you can defeat me?
Yes, I can. You are what, a deer? And I'm a werewolf.
He laughs, his voice echoing through the forest. You're a fool if you think a mere werewolf can defeat me. I've killed hundreds of your kind, you're no different.
He runs fast at him.
He stands his ground, waiting for the werewolf to get closer. When he is within range, he grabs the werewolf by the throat, lifting him up into the air. He stares down at him, his eyes burning with rage.
The wolf lays there.
He squeezes his throat tighter, his grip tightening as he squeezes the breath out of the wolf. He doesn't care if he kills him, he just wants to protect you.
Stop. I weakly mumble. Let him live.
He looks over, seeing you try to speak, and he stops. He lowers the wolf to the ground, but doesn't let go of his throat. Why? Why should I let him live?
Because you are my guard now, she said weakly.
He lets out a small chuckle, his grip loosening. You are my princess, and I will do anything for you. If you wish to spare him, then I will.
She falls aslumber.
He catches you before you hit the ground, holding you close to his chest. He carries you back to the cabin, and lays you on the couch. He then goes and finds a blanket, and covers you with it. He sits down next to you, and watches over you.
About a day later, Where am I?
He is sitting in a chair by the fireplace, his back to you. He hears you stir, and he stands up, walking over to you. You're in my cabin, princess. How do you feel?
Princess.
He nods, his voice soft. Yes, you're my princess. I have been watching over you for some time now, and I've grown quite fond of you.
Ha! Who are you? Who am I?
He smiles, kneeling down to your level. I'm Dakota Blackwood, and you are my princess. I found you injured in the woods, and I've taken care of you ever since.
I'm sorry, but I am no princess. He seems confused.
He tilts his head, looking at you with a confused expression. You're not. Then why do I feel this way? I've never felt this way about anyone before.
Knowing that her dad is the king whom hired him, he played along. I don't even know whom I am.
He seems to believe you, his expression softening. That's okay, princess. We can figure that out later. You're safe here with me, I promise.
Why do you keep calling me princess?
He smiles, running his fingers through your hair. Because that's what you are to me. You're the most precious thing in my life, and I would do anything for you.
Dakota remembers that we must get back to the castle before her dad, the king, gets very upset.
He nods. We should return to the castle. I'm sure the king is worried about you.
The king?
He smiles. Yes, the king. He is your father, right?
Dakota sees that I don't remember. He asks me things he knows the answer to.
He seems concerned. You don't remember? Do you have any memory of your life at all?
No.
He sighs, sitting down next to you. Do you remember me? Do you remember my name?
I'm sorry, but no.
He seems disappointed, but tries to hide it. I see. Well, I am Dakota Blackwood, and I have been taking care of you since you were injured in the woods.
He worries seeing as he must return to the king with Princess Paisley, but she does not remember.
He looks at you, and then he sighs. I think it would be best if we return to the castle. Your father will be worried about you.
Okay.
He nods, and stands up, holding his hand out to you. Let's go, princess.
I follow.
He leads you outside, and then he picks you up in his arms, holding you close to him as he walks through the woods. He is quiet, his mind filled with thoughts.
Why are you carrying me?
He looks down at you, his face softening. Because I don't want you to get tired. You're still weak from your injury.
Oh.
He nods, continuing to walk through the woods. He glances around, making sure no one is around. I'll keep you safe, I promise. We get to the kingdom. He walks up to the guards, who look surprised to see him carrying you. I have brought the princess back, as you requested.
What's wrong with her? Is she sleeping?
He shakes his head. She was injured, and she has lost her memory. She doesn't remember anything.
Then how do we know that's the princess?
He looks at you, a hint of worry in his eyes. She has the same appearance, the same eyes. And she has the same mannerisms. I know it's her.
Right. Right this way to the king. Sir Dakota.
He nods, and follows the guards, still carrying you. He is nervous, hoping that the king will believe him. Your Majesty.
The king is sitting on his throne, looking down at you. His face is stern, and his voice is cold. Dakota, why have you returned with my daughter?
Dakota tenses.
The king's eyes narrow, and he stands up. I told you to protect her, not bring her back injured. What happened? The king's voice is rising, his anger becoming more apparent. Speak. What happened to my daughter?
I mumble gibberish.
The king's eyes narrow, and he glares at you. She's not making any sense. Dakota, what happened? You're telling me she lost her memory?
Dakota responds.
The king is silent for a moment, his face still dark. He then looks at you, his eyes softening. Is this true? You don't remember me?
No, I'm sorry, I have no clue whom you are.
The king looks devastated, his shoulders slumping. My poor child. You don't remember anything? Not even me? The king holds the princess tightly. The king hugs you, his eyes tearing up. He whispers, you're still my little girl, no matter what.
Oh, okay. He orders Dakota to take me to my room.
The king looks at Dakota, his eyes narrowing. You heard me. Take her to her room, and make sure she is comfortable.
He grabs me.
He carries you to your room, and he sets you down on your bed. He sits next to you, his eyes filled with worry. Are you okay?
I believe so, just confused.
He sighs, running his hand through your hair. I'm sorry this happened to you. You're my princess, and I will do anything to make you feel safe.
Please stop calling me princess.
He looks at you, surprised. Why? That's who you are.
But I don't remember.
He sighs. I know, but you will. It may take some time, but I'll be here to help you.
Thank you.
He smiles, his voice soft. You're welcome. Now, get some rest. I'll be right outside if you need me.
Oh, okay. She slowly falls aslumber.
He watches over you, his eyes filled with concern. He sits in a chair by the door, and he waits until you fall asleep before leaving the room.